these events will be in our kids' history books. We have an opportunity here to effectuate sustainable change and progress. We have the eyes of the world watching.
To ensure that new birth emerges from the chaotic pain that we have felt here recently.
How you doing? My name is Wesley Bell.
My name is Lee Smith.
You know, I'm running for Ferguson City Council.
I'm running for councilman in the 3rd Ward.
Okay. And just want to be a part of getting things turned back around here in Ferguson.
Sure, somebody need to. It's all upside down, yeah.
Right into the midst of the protest.
On April 7th, voters in Ferguson, Missouri will have a chance to overhaul their city council.
Head up that way.
For the first time ever, there are 2 black candidates running here in Ward 3. This is the largely African-American part of town, where Michael Brown was shot by a police officer last year.
And people are clamoring for change because of what happened with that police officer.
Both candidates are calling for change, but that's where their similarities end.
We're looking for great things this next year to pull our community together.
Council next year.
Wesley Bell represents the kind of homegrown success story rarely heard about in this town. He's a lawyer, a college professor, and the son of a police officer.
I actually think that he's going to be like President Obama. I see it. I see him being congressional at the very least.
What's some of your beliefs, man?
We want to see the police department as being more a part of the community and getting out of the car, not just pulling you over when you run a red light, but also getting out and talking to people, especially like kids on the street.
It take a man like you to go to them yourself. Mm-hmm. Then you introduce them to the police.
That's the way, too.
You see what I'm saying?
We're going to get ice cream, but we got to do this first.
At age 76, Lee Smith never imagined he'd enter a life of politics.
You can't be a campaign manager while you whining, man. Why? Because nobody listen to you if you whining and crying.
He's a retired union worker, church deacon, and a great-grandfather. His designs on a quiet retirement changed last August when Michael Brown was killed.
I thought, here we go again. Nothing has changed. A person can just kill a man without any repercussion. I've been in the same house since 1988. When I first moved here, I guess there may have been 3 black families on this block. And then when African Americans started moving in here, the police became more hostile. The city government became more hostile. We can't continue to allow and pay people that hate us to continue to police us.
We need a recall on every last one of them. Woo!
Calls for political change began last year in the wake of Michael Brown's death. Ferguson's nearly all-white city council sat silent as residents complained of racial bias within the police and court.
You make your money off of our backs.
In February, the Justice Department backed up those complaints with evidence of discriminatory policing and charging of excessive fines and court fees to balance Ferguson's budget.
They charge, for like all those tickets and all those courts, you got the average working person. You understand what I'm saying?
You're preaching to the choir, you know that.
What people may not know is that Bell is part of the system facing criticism.
Since you admitted that you were speeding, obviously the court is going to find you guilty.
He moonlights as a municipal court judge and prosecutor in neighboring towns.
So you only owe about for 150.
Each Wednesday, Bell hears traffic cases in Velda City, a tiny municipality a few miles from Ferguson that was recently sued for issuing illegal court fees.
And then it looks like you owed $100.50, and now you got these 2 failure to appear because you're not coming to court.
Last year, traffic violations made up 28% of Velda City's operating revenue. In an effort to rebuild trust, Velda City last year offered to recall 4,000 arrest warrants.
My philosophy is I don't think anyone should lose their job over a traffic ticket. Now, when the warrants go out, there's not as much I can do about that. But what I do tell them is that, hey, come to court. Because if you come to court, I have control, and I'm going to recall that warrant.
You're so rational.
As long as you're getting it taken care of, so.
Even if he is a lenient judge, Bell's association with muni courts may give his opponent leverage with voters.
I see the system that he represents as part of the problem. I don't have that record of being in the inner circle. From the outside, for Ferguson, peace, all different types of groups coming together to try to make Ferguson a place where people can come and say, I want to live here. City government right now is saying that they're going to have to comply to the DOJ's report, or they're going to have to go to trial. As a citizen, I don't want to see the city dissolved. The police force, I don't want to see it dissolved. I want to see it reformed, that it will look like the community it served.
What I hear is people saying police are this and police are that, but as soon as something happens to them, who are they calling? Police. Right.
In his criminal justice class, Bell spoke about his big issue, community policing.
It comes out of a code of distrust. None of us were there when Michael Brown was killed, but you gotta at least suspect that if this officer and this young man would have known each other, this situation probably would have ended differently. Don't you think? Yeah. Nice and easy.
A few weeks out from Election Day, Bell was reusing campaign signs from a failed run for St. Louis County Council last year.
They're a little bent up, but they'll still work fine.
Dear Communication Workers of America.
Meanwhile, unions and progressive groups have pledged to get out the vote for Lee Smith.
If we get the vote out, I believe I'll win it.
Appreciate it.
After all, voter turnout is the primary challenge, as Mike Salant knows.
Well, I think you'll win. Good luck.
Hey, well, no.
In 2010, he was elected on a mere 25 votes.
I was on the city council for 4 terms.
Ward 3?
Ward 3.
I start right here where this bad dog is.
With the nation's eyes on Ferguson, both candidates are expecting better voter turnout this time.
And I hope I can get your vote.
Yeah, municipality, I ain't had a chance to vote on them because it seems like, it don't do no good. But I guess it will this time.